You are listening to Resilient Life, the podcast where we explore the power of resiliency. I'm Nikita Ross. It is my hope that listening to this podcast will give you the tools to connect with and increase your resiliency. So join me on this adventure of self-discovery and self-love. Hey Resilientites, I'm glad you're here. I'm Nikita Ross, your go-to person for human resilience, and I'm here to guide you toward living your best life. Today, we're exploring another powerful tool in our resilience building arsenal. We're tackling a sneaky little culprit that many of us don't even realize we're dealing with. The quiet sabotager I'm talking about is operating on autopilot. Yeah, you heard me right. You might be traveling through life with cruise control on. Let's understand what autopilot means. I want to point out that autopilot is difficult for me to explain, but I will do my best and hopefully it makes sense. Ask yourself, what drives you? What's your motivation for getting out of bed in the morning? When you start your day and do the things that you usually do throughout the day, is it because you have to, you're supposed to, or is it because you want to? Well, autopilot is a state of mind where we act without conscious awareness or thought. We go through our daily routines without really engaging or being present or fully aware of what we are doing or why we're doing it. When we're autopilot, we tend to go through our daily routine without actually paying attention to what we're doing. We may not even remember certain parts of our day as our minds work elsewhere. It's like being essentially like autopilot in your car. Similarly, we can do that in our lives. Okay, we have a working definition. So let's figure out if you're on autopilot. The first sign is a lack of awareness. I know you never lack awareness, but humor me, please. Have you ever driven somewhere, arrived, and had little to no recollection of the journey? Or maybe you're halfway through your morning coffee or tea, and you realize you don't even remember making it. Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions of life without really being present in the moment? These little moments are dead giveaways. It's like our brains hit snooze while our bodies go through the motions. Well, that's a sign of being on autopilot. Okay, let's dive deeper into this and learn how to identify, understand, and break free from this automated way of living. Another sign that you're on autopilot is a lack of focus and concentration. When we're on autopilot, we tend to multitask and do things simultaneously without giving our full attention to any of them. This can lead to not making genuine connections, making mistakes, or missing important details. Lastly, a lack of enjoyment or fulfillment in our daily activities can indicate that we are on autopilot. When we're not fully engaged, we're not really present in the moment, and we miss out on the simple pleasures and experiences of life. Now, why do we slip into autopilot mode? Glad you asked. There are a couple of reasons. Our brains are wired to conserve energy. Our brains are constantly processing a huge amount of information, and it takes a lot of energy. So to make things easier, our brains create routines and shortcuts and patterns to help us navigate through our life and our day efficiently. This can be helpful, but it can also lead to mindless living. Moreover, the constant pressure to be productive and achieve more can increase our stress, which can make things worse, pushing us to retreat into autopilot as a coping mechanism. It's like our minds are saying, wake me up when this is over. We tend to focus on the end goal and rush through our tasks. I know it sounds handy, right? But here's the catch. Life becomes a never-ending series of these shortcuts, and this can lead to a kind of mental detachment. We start missing out on the little joys, the details, and ultimately the richness of our lives. And we're not even enjoying the process of living. Another possible reason that you are on autopilot is that you have experienced trauma. Sometimes the things that we saw or experienced were too much for us, and our brains, out of protection, started checking out because it felt too overwhelming to face or to remember what happened. It's also the reason why some people numb life with drugs or alcohol. There is something or multiple somethings that they do not want to face, cannot face, they can't handle, and they can't deal with it, so they numb. So, what can we do to break free from autopilot mode and live more mindfully? I'm glad you asked. Here are some tips. Number 1, find a good therapist. There are things that you may need help working through to help you get off of autopilot. You may not be able to do it alone. 2, practice mindfulness. I know, I say it all the time, but being mindful, it helps us become more aware of our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. Engaging in mindfulness activities like meditation, yoga, or simply taking a moment to focus on our breath can help break us free from autopilot mode. Number 3, change things up. Routines and patterns can easily put us on autopilot mode. So try changing things up. It can be as simple as taking a different route to work or trying a new hobby. This helps our brain stay active and engaged. Number 4, be present. Make a conscious effort to be present in the moment instead of multitasking. Focus on one task at a time, pay attention to your surroundings, and try to notice new things. This will help you connect with the present moment and enjoy it more. Number 5, let go of perfectionism. The need to be perfect can also push us into autopilot mode. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on doing your best and enjoy your process. It's okay to make mistakes. And number 6, lastly, take breaks and give yourself time to recharge. Our bodies and our minds, they need rest to function at their best. So make sure to take breaks, relax, and do things that bring you joy. Resilientlife. Let's recap. Breaking free from autopilot mode may take time and effort, but it's worth it, I promise. Being more present and engaged in our daily lives can bring a sense of fulfillment and joy. Who doesn't want to be joyful? So let's make a conscious effort to live more mindfully and break free from the automated way of living. Remember, being on autopilot can be normal from time to time, but it's essential to recognize and take steps to break free from it. Resilientlife. That's it for today's episode. I hope you found inspiration and actionable insights to help you navigate your path to living your best life. If so, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little boost of resilience. And I'll see you in the next episode. I hope this episode gave you some tools to connect with and increase your resiliency. I'm proud of you. Let's keep up the momentum. Follow Resilient Life on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube at Resilient Life Podcast. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others.